Well, the story of the birth of the Eighth Amendment is rather incredible, but deeply disturbing. In 1685, Judge George Jeffreys, he had earned the nickname the Hanging Judge by conducting England's bloody assizes, a series of trials where he sentenced over 300 people to death and had 800 more whipped through the streets or sold into slavery. Well, American colonists, they knew about this, and maybe, I'm sure they were, as appalled as much as I am. In fact, many had fled England precisely to escape such judicial savagery. So when they wrote, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted, they weren't crafting, abstract philosophy. They were banning the nightmare scenarios that their grandparents had witnessed back in not-so-jolly old England. And here's what's remarkable. The Eighth Amendment's language comes, word for word, from the English Bill of Rights of 1689. So back to why our founding fathers thought it was so necessary to have the Eighth Amendment. You see, British officials turned punishment into political theater in America. In 1765, colonists who protested, for example, the Stamp Act, they faced punishments designed to humiliate and terrorize. Tax collectors had protesters pillared, locked in wooden frames in public squares where crowds pelted them with rotten vegetables and dead animals. Some were branded with hot irons. Others were cropped, which is having their ears cut off. What the absolute The British especially loved excessive fines as political weapons. Can't pay an impossibly high fine for criticizing the governor? No problem. They'd seize your farm, your tools, everything you owned. And the fine wasn't necessarily about money. It was about destroying dissent. And Virginia's George Mason, one of our founding fathers, he witnessed these abuses firsthand. When he drafted Virginia's Declaration of Rights in 1776, he included a ban on cruel and unusual punishment. A young James Madison, he watched Virginia adopt this protection, and later he insisted that it belonged in the Federal Bill of Rights. And almost nobody debated the Eighth Amendment during the ratification. While they fought over just about everything else, this amendment passed virtually without discussion. Why? Because everyone, Federalists and anti-Federalists alike, they had seen what had happened when governments turned justice into vengeance. Patrick Henry, the man known for saying, "Give me liberty or give me death," and who opposed, by the way, just about almost everything regarding the new Constitution, he actually praised this protection. He defended clients who had been sentenced to ear cropping for simple petty theft. He knew judges needed limits. And the founders deliberately kept cruel and unusual undefined. They knew society would evolve, and what seemed acceptable in 1791, like public whipping, might horrify future generations. They gave us a principle, not a list, trusting future Americans to recognize cruelty when they saw it. And today, the Eighth Amendment reminds us that a government powerful enough to protect us is powerful enough to destroy us, unless we explicitly tell it where to stop. And by the way, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thanks.